Everyone. It is Take Charge Tuesday, matter of fact, and I am back here with you to talk about analytics because y'all know I love analytics. Absolutely, 100% and completely love analytics. And so I wanted to talk to you today about basically how to make some good decisions, maybe even great decisions, because you have better information. So for me, myself personally, I love, I'm at a new place, so new office. It is not done yet, but that's beside the point. So what I was going to say is that I personally love analytics. Everybody who's been to a workshop with me knows how much I love analytics because I talk about it even in workshops that don't have anything to do with analytics. Because I named my business Predictable Results Marketing, and I did so because I think that it is the most important thing we do is to track what it is that we've done and the results that we're getting from it so that we can make good decisions going forward. I think that is the challenge with business in general. That is the challenge that we're all being, as small business owners, challenged with. We need to do the hard thing, which is to slow down and work on making better decisions. And so I've talked about this topic before inside of Take Charge Tuesday, and I want to talk a little bit more about why you should do analytics or why you should care about analytics. I've talked about how the insights will make you rich, but I think that what you really need to understand outside of making you rich is that the insights that you can get from analytics can just simply make you better. So the big why for me and for I think some other people, hopefully, is to help you be a better business owner. And what do I mean by that? So I'm going to use myself as examples today because I have been challenged over the last 30 days with a lot of activity happening in my personal life, which has made it difficult for me to pay a ton of attention to what's going on in basically any other arena of my life. So we are buying a house. And as you may know from buying a house, it is a weirdly extremely slow and then very, very fast process. So everything is very slow. And then everything that is happening happens at the last minute. And for us, that process actually was really just fast. It wasn't really all that slow. We found a house within 2 times of going out with our real estate agent, put an offer in, and we're in the house all within the span of 60 days. And as a function of that, everything about the process of buying a house was very fast and extremely time consuming. Now, I own a business, and I own a business that I am the chief cook and bottle washer, as people say on the streets, or as they used to say. I do everything. I'm not the only employee, but I do touch some portion of everything. And my other full-time employee happens to also be my fiance, who I am buying a house with. And so the 2 full-time employees in our business were basically unavailable for 15 to 20 days out of the last 30. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because in that time, I had to rely heavily on my team to make sure that things were happening and being done. And I had to rely on analytics to kind of help me follow up to make sure that things are being done in a way that fits with what it is that I'm trying to accomplish with my business. So for someone who I am by no means a control freak, but I am still very much in the day-to-day operations of my business, analytics was really fantastic as like a retroactive checkpoint. And it was great because I was able to do it without having to, communicate with my team off hours, because a lot of times in the past month, the time that I had available to do my work and to do all the quote unquote check-in and all the things that I would have been doing during the daytime was at night. And part of what I want to be as a leader in my business is someone who does not make my schedule have to be the schedule of everyone in my business. And so the fact that I was unavailable a lot during the daytime, I hoped, and I think we accomplished this, it didn't mean that the entire team had to shift their work schedule to work according to my schedule. In reality, it's just made it a lot easier for them to do their job and then for me to figure out what was happening afterwards. And so, yes, David just made this really great comment in the chat about how, you know, the metrics make the process of documentation, like when you're documenting, it makes everything much clearer. And for analytics, one of the beautiful things about analytics is that if you have goals set up, if you have your analytics set up on your website properly, if you're tracking social media analytics and all those things, you can actually kind of look at your analytics to see an overview of how your business is doing without you having to actually bug other people. It really does make the entire process of understanding what is going on in your business a much easier process, a like at a glance issue, instead of you having to contact people and reach out to this person and have this person reporting to you, especially in the circumstance that I was in where I was just simply not available to do that, right? So even if I wanted to check in on people and do all those things, I wasn't available during the daytime. And so I would have had to like write these emails, these phantom emails to them that dropped into their inbox in the morning. And that was definitely not something that I wanted to do. And I also didn't want to send emails in the middle of the night because, of course, for your team, if you are a business owner, you know that if you're sending emails at 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 10, whenever you're sending them, if you're sending emails in the evening, and it inevitably makes your team feel like they should be working. And I didn't want to do that. And so for me, during this time where I was otherwise occupied, like I simply did not have the bandwidth to be like the physical time, not just the bandwidth. I also didn't have the bandwidth, but I also didn't have the physical time to be there during the daytime working alongside them. Having the ability to check in with analytics, see what was going on. And I honestly did this. I hope you all understand. I don't tell you about things that I'm not actually doing. I did this. I did this with my social media analytics. I did it with the website analytics. And it was really, really helpful because it helped me see which pages were getting traffic, what things were happening on social media, because I was not on social media at all socially during that time. I was very sparse, like with my posting and things like that. For the most part, I was just, doing my Wordle every day and posting that on my personal socials, and that was it. And so, I really hope that you all understand how valuable your insights can get in post. And so what I'm going to encourage everyone to do is to try to think about analytics as something that once you set it up, it doesn't just have the benefit of helping you grow your business, because it does. It has the benefit of helping you to gain insights that are going to make you money. Absolutely. But it also helps you to gain insights that are going to help free up your time. And whether you are in the position like I was, where I simply wasn't available to talk to people, it just wasn't possible, or whether it's a situation where you are ill or any other reason, maybe you are going to take a month off to do a European vacation, but you still want to have some idea of what's going on in your business, and you will be in a completely different time zone, throwing everyone and their mother off if you're trying to email them and things in the daytime. I highly suggest that you get your analytics set up as a proactive method of you tracking what's going on in your business without being like meddlesome or bothersome to your team while they're actually trying to accomplish the things that you're asking them to do on a daily basis. And I think that might be one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from this month that I've had. It's been a little bit longer than a month, but for this month that I've had of being unavailable, is that yes, I need, as David just said, asynchronous communication tools. Absolutely. But I also needed the ability to just kind of take a glance and see what was going on with the business. And I have my own dashboards that I built with Google Data Studio. I love Google Data Studio. I've talked about it. I preach about it. It's a great platform, but I use Google Data Studio to integrate all of the different metrics of all the different places that, people interact with our business. And integrating all of those things into one place makes it so that I can take a glance again at my analytics, take a glance at what's going on, and have a really good idea about whether or not my team is doing the things that they're meant to be doing, which they were, and also have a really good idea about what it is that we're supposed to be doing going forward, what kind of experiences my customers and potential clients are having, all of those things, right? It helps you to write course. It helps you to write course in both directions. It helps you to steer, and it also helps you to make sure that, by looking at the trail of the data, it helps you to see where you've been. And for the most part, if you don't have analytics that you're tracking in your business, not just website analytics, you can track any number of analytics. If you don't have analytics set up for your business, then you will be putting yourself in a position to not be able to make good decisions, period. You can't make great decisions. You can't make any real good decisions if you don't have enough information. One more little tidbit, and then I'm going to go because I have a workshop about analytics in about 15 minutes. One of the videos that I watched this morning, y'all know I'm a YouTube watcher, and one of the videos that I watched this morning was talking about the concept of knowledge as it pertains to finance. Like if you don't have enough information, that will kind of inevitably keep you at a disadvantage when it comes to finance. And they were talking specifically about poverty traps and things like that. And this is something that's very interesting to me because I grew up in poverty. I have many family members who are also still in poverty. And I believe very strongly that it is a responsibility of myself and anyone else who's managed to claw our way out of poverty to help clear a path for other people. And one of the things that video was saying was that it's very difficult to make good decisions about your money when A, you don't have money, and B, you don't have information. And I think that when you are a business owner, especially if you happen to be like me, a business owner who did come out of poverty, I am not someone who grew up having money. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a like middle classy sort of way. I mean like abject poverty, kind of homeless poverty. It's a different ballgame. And so I grew up very much not having a lot of money and having to deal with really, really hard choices that my mom was having to make for our family. And then, growing up, I didn't have good examples of what it looked like to do good things with your money. Not having those examples meant that in the case where I have a business right now, sometimes it can still be challenging to not know what to do with my money. So if we do have a fantastic month or a great quarter like we just did with Q1 of this year, which was fantastic considering everything that was going on, was the best quarter of our entire business. Considering that, first of all, A, I know that because I track all my numbers. And then B, knowing what to do with the money that we've accumulated over the course of this quarter is a challenge, but I have information because I do have analytics. I have analytics across the entire business. I have a dashboard that tells me what's working and what's not working. I have anecdotal information from my customers. I have enough information to make better choices. And and not just make better choices, but to keep making the good choices that got me here in the first place. The thing that we need to understand about being business owners is this: no matter what, you are going to be challenged with having a thing in the future that you don't know how to deal with. There will always be something in the future that you don't know how to deal with as a small business owner. Whether you're successful or not, whether everything is going great or everything is going poorly, it doesn't quite matter. There will always be something in the future that you don't know how to deal with. And what we need to do is be keeping track, of the things that are happening as they're happening so that we can know, okay, we did X thing and Y happened. We did Y thing and Z happened. We have some idea of what the cause and effects are in our business. We have enough information to whereas even when we do reach these milestones of things that are happening that you have never experienced before, you have enough information, you have a scent trail, you have something to help you make the decisions that you need to make going forward. If you are not tracking analytics on your website, if you're not tracking analytics for your social media, if you're not tracking the analytics of your email marketing and things like that, it is going to make it very difficult for you to make those choices going forward, for you to actually decide what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't. It makes it so much harder. And so my challenge to you is this: not just for you to get analytics on your website so that you can get the data that's going to help you track your customers and all that stuff and funnels and yay. I mean, I believe in all that. You've heard me talk about it before. What I want you to do is think about it this way. Get analytics onto your website so that you have information, so that when you get to a point where you need to make choices that you've never had to make before, you have the information to help you make those choices. Versus when you get to that point where you have to make choices, you are then looking to the outside world to give you information, because their information and your information may not be the same. The data may not be the same for you. So you could reach out to someone who has an extremely similar business, but has completely different metrics, completely different customer profiles, completely different everything else. And if you have not been tracking your own data, you're not going to be able to make good decisions, because you're going to be making decisions based off of someone else's information. And so if you're, at the very least, you can get an idea from someone else, but then you can apply it to your own data and have a much better experience of making your choices, because your choices will be good based on your own numbers and not someone else's. Okay. Okay. So with that, thank you. I am going to go ahead and hop into a workshop. I have a workshop that is coming up in 7 minutes. If you want to join me, there's information in the caption for you to register and hang out with me in 7 minutes, where we are going to be talking all about how to get the analytics code onto your website, what to do with it, how to set goals, so that you have some idea what it is that is happening on your website. I'm going to be talking all about UA4. So if you are brand new and you're like, I don't know the difference between UA4 and GA4 and UA and all those things, come join me and I will tell you about them and I will show them to you, because we don't just show, we do show and tell. And so I would love to see you in this workshop. And with that, I'm going to go. I got to go. I got a few minutes. So I will talk to you all later. Have a fantastic week and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye. Thanks, David. Bye.